Hi, so today we're going to cook a refried soba noodle stir fry. I'm gonna start by heating up the wok. And I've got all my ingredients prepared beforehand because a stir fry, you want everything to be ready because as soon as you start cooking, you're not gonna have time to chop any more vegetables or do any more prep work. So you heat up the wok, add your oil. It's sesame oil. And now I'm going to add in my garlic and ginger. These are the aromatics, and we're going to just cook these for a little under a minute, and we don't want it to burn, so we're just going to quickly stir it around. In a stir fry, whenever you're adding in ingredients, you just want to keep them moving so nothing burns. You want to stir them. Okay, we can even, if you want to use a timer, you can time a little under a minute. Alright. And so while that's cooking, I'll explain the next ingredients. The next thing we're going to be adding are the stems of bok choy, because they take longer to cook. They're a little bit harder. So we're going to add those in. I separated them from the leaves of the bok choy because the leaves are softer, so they'll cook more quickly. I'm going to just stir that around a little bit. And our garlic and ginger are still cooking, not burning. And I can smell it as well, so that's giving me a good signal that everything's cooking well. So I'm just going to keep stirring the bok choy until it's slightly soft before I add the other ingredients. And bok choy is a great way to get your greens. You want to have greens every day. It's a good way to help your immune system. Alright, now we can add in the other ingredients. We're going to add in the leaves, which are thinly sliced. It's called a chiffonade slice. They're very thin so that they cook quickly, and they'll absorb more flavor that way as well. Going to give that a quick stir. So, the other things we're going to be adding, other vegetables, are going to be red pepper, jalapeno pepper, and scallions. And at the end, the very end, we're going to add the soba noodles, since they're already going to be the softest ingredient. And it's going to be a nice stir fry. Okay, now we can add in the scallions, which I sliced them diagonally, 1/4-inch slices, also so that'll cook quickly and uniformly. Alright, so we got this going. And we'll add in our red peppers. The red peppers I also sliced thinly, almost like a julienne slice. It's going to add some nice color to the dish. Got some green and red. And we're just going to cook this until the peppers get slightly soft. When you're doing a stir fry, you can either use tongs or you can use a special spatula that is made for woks. I find, since I have kind of like long, stringy ingredients in here, that tongs are a little bit more helpful in making sure that I get everything moved around. Alright, so our next step, we're actually going to add in some bean sprouts, which you can find either in the produce section near where they sell the tofu in the supermarket, or you can find them canned if you can't find them fresh. So we're going to add in about 1.5 cups of bean sprouts. We're adding these towards the end since they're so soft. We don't want them to get too mushy. Okay. But they will give a nice crunch to the dish, especially if they're fresh bean sprouts. So this is mixing together pretty nicely. The next thing we're going to be adding is the jalapeno, which is minced. Your ingredients that are very strong, it's good to mince them so that they kind of distribute more evenly. So with the jalapeno pepper, and also with the garlic in the beginning and the ginger, you wouldn't want to bite into a big chunk of garlic or ginger or jalapeno pepper when you're eating a dish. So that's why they're minced. into small itty bitty pieces. Alright, so as that's cooking, our very last two ingredients, or our last three ingredients are going to be shoyu, which is fermented soy sauce, mixed with toasted sesame oil. We're just going to dump that right in. I'm going to cook this briefly, and that kind of brought down the temperature. So we're going to cook this a little bit until we hear it starting to bubble up again. And then the next thing we're going to add is going to be the soba noodles, which are made from buckwheat. You'll also find them in the Asian section of the grocery store. So, since we're already using shoyu, which is a soy sauce, we don't really need to add too much salt. We don't want the dish to be overly salty, especially if you're focusing on reducing your sodium intake. So we'll just add a tiny taste of salt. And sea salt has a nicer flavor. So all of our liquid in there is starting to bubble up again a little bit. The liquids now are the shoyu, the sesame oil, and the toasted sesame oil. And all that mixed together kind of creates a nice sauce with the ginger and the garlic. Okay, and now we're going to add in our soba noodles. It's about a half a pound of the noodles dry, just cooked, boiled in water the way you would make regular noodles. You don't need to use all of them. So let's just see how this does first. Mix it together well. And like I said, this is the last ingredient we're adding because it's already soft. So if we were to add that in the middle, it would get too mushy and it would mix up too much with the vegetables. Alright, so it looks like our stir fry is complete. Everything is mixed together very nicely. And now I'll add a little bit to a plate. Let's see. Okay, make sure you get a lot of vegetables in there. Alright, and we have a nice vegetable refried soba noodle stir fry. Enjoy!